Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yo. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yo. All right, people. Your boy man Mike here.
Good. Did you freeze up already?
Look like it.
Hey, as you can see, Mad Mike. We got, hold on, Drew on this side. They got the big boy, big low country Kane in this motherfucker. Hey, with y'all, man.
Hey man, we're just trying to make it down this way, man. Ready for some football. How y'all doing today?
Oh, we chilling as always.
That's good. That's good.
Exactly. Boy, that pigskin flying, boy, is gonna be a whole different ball game.
Man.
Oh yeah, man.
yeah, it's coming. It's coming quick too. It's like with all this coronavirus and all of this civil revolution that we're having right now. A lot of people, it's kind of like football is creeping up on us, So I'm definitely excited. Definitely excited.
Oh yeah, man.
Did y'all get a chance to hear anything about the scrimmage today?
Oh yeah, man. The scrimmage got real. Got real.
Yeah, man, it did. It did. I think it's real good that they had a chance to get put in a game situation because it's one of those things where you could go through training camp and everything like that, but there's nothing like the actual game situation where they could simulate substitutions and things like that. I really think that it was a good idea.
Most definitely. I mean, from what I heard from Grady Jarrett, listening to his little interview, he was talking about it. The offensive line showed great continuity out there. Caleb McGarry in his second year, Chris Lindstrom in his second year after being injured, coming back, he said the line looked good. Matt Hennessy in the starting rotation, I believe, right now. So, yeah, man, the scrimmage, that was a great idea to do that scrimmage and prepare for the season. Like we said, we're about 2 weeks away from the season. So, you can smell the grass now. The helmets, the passing came out. So it's about to get real. But we're going to go ahead and jump into some of these questions, y'all. What's the first question? What should be the Falcons' biggest concern heading into the 2020 season? Go ahead, Kevin. What you think, man?
I think biggest concern is going to be I was gonna say is adapting this new mentality they got.
Yeah, man.
Trying to put it all on the field.
Right.
I mean, like I said, you want to start off on a strong note because if you don't, it's like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think to be honest with you, I think it's going to be that offensive line. I think that's why I was so excited to hear what Grady Jarrett said. Y'all know that we run that zone blocking scheme. So, with that zone blocking scheme, everybody has to be, connected.
That's right.
As soon as they hike the ball, I don't know if y'all pay attention, but with that zone blocking scheme, everybody takes the first step with the same foot. I think that's going to be very important because Matt Ryan can't throw a pass from his back. That's so. I think that's going to be our biggest challenge this year.
Right, and I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. To me, I think it's the offensive line as well. I did a video earlier this week on my channel. You guys go subscribe. Do Talk Sports. On my channel, I talked about the offensive line and how the continuity on that line, like you were talking about, all of those guys kind of had to be on one accord, and it has to be almost like you're doing a line dance. Everybody has the timing. Everybody has to know the cadence. Everybody has to move as one. And if one guy is off, that can throw the whole thing off. And I really thought last year that was the biggest issue with the guard position, with Jamon Brown, who was recently cut earlier this week, James Carpenter and those guys battling injury all season, and then Wes Schweitzer. I talked about those guys, that revolving door at that left guard position. I really think that hurt the team. And also, a lot of people forget that Chris Lindstrom went down in the first week of the season. So really, we had both guard positions was kind of a revolving door where those guys were kind of, they kind of struggled up front to find some continuity. Every week it seemed like it was a miss and match type situation. So I feel like those guys could never really get on one accord, and that was one of the biggest issues. Was like you said, those guys were not playing as one. Those guys were off. Either somebody was jumping off sides, and Matt Ryan talked about that this week about discipline. Like they asked him, what does he think the biggest thing that they need to take a step forward this year? And he said discipline, the things that you can control. You can't really control sometimes if you have a dominant player in front of you like an Aaron Donald or something like that. But what you can control is jumping off sides and all of those pre-snap penalties. Those kill you, they kill you, and it kills momentum when you're going backwards. When you've got 1st and 10 and then somebody jumps off sides, so you get a false start, and that's 5 yards. So you turn a 1st and 10 to 1st and 15. Those 5 yards, that's a huge difference. So I definitely think that the biggest concern for me is that offensive line, just for the mere fact that we know what Matt Ryan is going to do. We know what Julio's going to do. We know what Calvin Ridley and those guys and Todd Gurley, we know what they're capable of. But if the line doesn't perform, we can really struggle. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Makes a huge difference. Hey, and what's going on, Anthony? Right? Rise up, man. Rise up.
Yeah, like I said, 3 seconds.
Hey, that's it, man. Because you made a good point about that, Drew, because you remember that Super Bowl year, it was important because that whole season, that the whole offensive line was healthy and they started every game together. So that continuity, it really makes a big difference. Knowing how to pass off blocks, knowing who's supposed to go to the second level to pick up linebackers, and after that, it's the running back's job moving forward. So yeah, I mean that's you're right. That's very important. Very important.
Right. Now I kind of want to swing it around back to you guys. What's y'all biggest concern for the defense? We all kind of talked a little bit about the offense, but for the defense, what's y'all biggest concern? We can start with the guest. Go ahead, Dustin.
To be honest with you, I know a lot of people are saying the cornerbacks because AJ Terrell, and Denard and everything. But to be honest with you, I think in Dan Quinn's scheme, the cornerbacks, I think their job is pretty simple. They kind of just cover a third of the field, and that slot cornerback roams. I think it's the linebackers, to be honest with you. I think Deion Jones and Aluakin, I think it's one of those situations where, they are undersized. And whenever we played against teams that had that zone block and running scheme, Deion Jones kind of got lost up in the wash because, if he couldn't get there at the point of attack, it would be hard for him to get off blocks. So I'm really eager to see how he's going to, how we're going to make adjustments for that in the future.
What about you, K-Stylz? What you think as far as on the defensive side of the ball? What's your biggest concern heading into the 2020 season?
I think it'll be that defensive line because, like you said, with the way the corners play, that cover 3 scheme, your defensive line has to get pressure immediately. So with Grady Jarrett, Marlon Davidson, where the middle gonna come in at, they got to crash the middle of that line.
Yeah.
And then that'll lead to easier sacks for Tack, Dante Fowler, and all them.
Yeah.
And plus, you want to protect, like you said, them linebackers are undersized. You basically got a bunch of safeties playing linebackers, so you need them big uglies in the front to keep the bodies off of them.
Exactly.
Right. What about you, Mike? What you think your biggest concerns, either offense or defense? What you think heading into the 2020 season?
I just want to say that there was a lot. You're not gonna steal my joy, you motherfucker. All right. Can't nobody hold me down. Can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. All right. Look, man.
Hey, man, talk your
I'm gonna
stuff.
say this, man. Hey, man. The biggest concern as far as the defense. That's what you mean?
We did defense and offense, so you can go.
Just the team.
We were just talking about defense. Yeah, the team in general.
Man, look, man, I'm like I've said this over and over again. We putting too much attention into the defense. Don't worry about the defense. Why are we so worried about the defense? The defense be fine. It's going to be fine. Why do I say this? Because what's more important is a running game. A running game is going to help offense defense out. An offensive running game will make it's going to, for sure, it's going to help the passing game. It's going to help the offensive line. It's going to help the defense by keeping those guys off the field, rest, and let Hack do what he does best and get out the quarterback, because his little sloppy ass has no business trying to engage with the offensive line and try to pretend like you hold a point. Hack fucking garbage, okay? He's damn garbage when it comes down to holding a point. He's trash. So what he needs to do, how the defense is going to improve, how the offense is going to improve, how the team is going to improve, a running game. A running game, the offensive line. How I don't understand how people don't understand a running game it can fix any and everything.
Yeah.
A consistent running game can fix anything. Pass protection. Why? Because you don't have your offensive line constantly going backwards. That's an unnatural move to go backwards. You're meant to go forward. So when offensive linemen are going forward and they're being nasty and they're being aggressive, guess what? They're much better. So as long as the running game is good, the pass protection is going to be better. The aggressiveness is going to be much better. The defensive line is going to be what? They're going to have much more stamina. Defensive line with more stamina. No big dudes going after the offensive line. Yeah, man. Like it's going to be like that's it. Stop worrying about the defense, people. Don't worry about the defense. Worry about the running game. That's the only thing we need to focus on. That's my biggest concern, running game. And we know what Matt Ryan can do with a running game, right? 2012, Michael Turner, MVP season. Do we got to bring up the MVP season again? With a running game, a consistent running game? Why the hell are we so worried about the defense? We need to be worried about a running game. And it's the facts. It's the truth, bruh. The Atlanta Falcons heavy hitters. The heavy hitters were nothing but the truth and the facts. That's what we need. We need to be concerned about the running game. Period, dog.
Yeah, that play action game is Matt Ryan's forte. And that's where he makes his best throws at.
We got our ass. Hey, y'all, do we have to bring back 1988 again? We got our ass whooped. That play action game. They whooped our ass. They whooped our mother freaking behinds. Big Low, know, you know. Everybody know.
Yes,
They took him. Hey, they took him back behind the woods.
Am I lying? No.
They took him out behind the woods.
Boy.
I mean, there wasn't nothing they could do with it. There wasn't nothing they could do with it. You know. So I mean, so basically on both sides of the ball, you know, if you run the ball, it takes care of everything on the offensive side. Pass blocking. I mean, because the defensive line isn't going to be as aggressive. And then, I mean, you know, we all know how quickly Tack gets tired. So if he gets a couple more first,
yeah, that's all I see here.
More first downs on offense, you know, maybe that could give him a break. You know, so I mean, I think that's definitely a good point.
Yeah. Plus, I think people fall in love with the passing game a little too much, and like you said, you forget the running game.
Yeah,
you can say the clock is your
right.
And at the end of the day, football is one man moving another man. At the end of the day, you know, passing the ball is pretty and everything, but at the end of the day, it's one man moving another man. You know, so.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go to the next question. What position group makes the biggest jump in 2020? We're gonna go ahead and go with you, Dustin. What you think, man? Which position group is gonna have the biggest jump?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be that secondary. I think with Keanu Neal coming back, I call Keanu Neal the boogeyman.
Man, I love you, Justin. I love you, dog. No homo. I love you, big dog. I've been saying that all this time. I love you, big dog. No homo, man. No homo, dog. I love what you just said because I've been screaming that. All this time.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I think with Keanu Neal coming back, 'cause like I was getting ready to say, I call him the boogeyman because his name is Keanu and he knocks people's heads off. I don't know if anybody watched John Wick before, but I call him the boogeyman.
Yes.
I think AJ Terrell is really slept on. I think he's basically a clone copy of Richard Sherman. Long, athletic corner. He's even faster than Richard Sherman. I think Isaiah Oliver is going to take a next step. Denard is one of the best slot corners in the league if you look at his numbers. And I mean, we all know what Crazy Casey can do, and Ricardo Allen, he's just back there doing this thing, directing things. So I think we're going to have a lot of 3 safety sets, and I think that secondary is going to make a big jump this year.
All right, what about you, K-Stylz? What you think, man? Which group takes that biggest jump in 2020?
Position group. Ooh, I'm gonna take a gamble with this. Now I'm gonna say special teams.
That's interesting.
I like that.
I'm gonna say special
like
teams.
that.
Why you think that now?
Well, because I look at this punter that we drafted 7th round, and he got a leg on him. Matt Bosch. His leg been Robotron done for the last couple of years. But as he was Mike was saying about the running game and running the clock and stuff like that, that field position game is important too.
Mm-hmm.
You want your punter
Right.
to flip position. You want at least your kick returns to at least attempt to return the ball. I mean, we remember Eric Weems and I call him Fair Catch Joe, but that's what we say.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like I said, I see special team. Like I said, young way cool. Like I said, when he came in last year when we needed him, he came in and did the damn thing.
Yeah, he did.
For a long time, I was calling him Young Ho because I thought he loved them young hoes. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely go special team.
Okay, what you think, Drew?
Hey man, that comment that was just up there, Speed Falcons for Life, read my mind, man. When he said Joe Witt is coaching the secondary, and I agree with Big Low. I think it's gonna be the secondary. The reason I say the secondary, if you remember when Joe Witt was in Green Bay, he teaches guys to go for the football, to make plays on the football. Yeah. And I was listening to, I think it was DeMonte Casey, and he this week he was doing his interview, and he talked about Joe Witt teaches them to run through the ball. Don't just guard the man. Go get the football. He teaches go take the football away. Let's give the offense, that high-powered offense, more opportunities. Put them on short field. I don't know how many times last year Matt Ryan in that offense will have to go 60, 70, 80 yards to try to score a touchdown. And what people don't realize, the reason that it's important to put your offense on a short field, that you create less opportunities for the offense to turn the football over. If we got to go 80 yards and on those long drives, the chances are is that the defense might make a play on the football. If you're in the offense, you got to keep doing all of those long methodical drives. But if you can get an interception and return that thing down to like into their territory, you make it really easy for the offense to do their job. And I think a lot of people forget in 2016, that was one of the big things with our defense. Yeah. We were in the 20s. We ranked in the 20s, but the defense actually got turnovers. And when they got turnovers, a lot of the times they either scored touchdowns with the football. I remember Vic Beasley getting a strip sack fumble for a touchdown. I remember Deion Jones having a pick six. That game against the Rams, they went crazy on defense. Yeah, so I really think that Joe Witt coaching the secondary, and with those guys like AJ Terrell on that side of the football, and Denard coming over to play that slot position, we got a good mix of veteran players, young players on that secondary. And I really think that a lot of these players on the secondary are going to surprise a lot of people. I didn't realize this kid, Jalen Hawkins, I was looking at him. He looks like he's bigger than I thought he was. Yeah. He's a lot bigger.
He's a lot bigger.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
I was like,
Wow.
Backer out there.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that big and that long and that athletic. So I'm like, man, we got another mini Keanu Neal behind Keanu Neal. So like I'm not going to be surprised to see this secondary take the football away. And this past week I actually was watching a clip of the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. The second year that Seattle went back to the Super Bowl. And the reason I bring this up is I didn't remember in that football game that Russell Wilson threw 4 interceptions to Green Bay. And so I went back and watched the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the world? And that just shows how good of a coach Joe Witt is, and also how good Green Bay secondary was. Because I forgot they had all those guys. They had Hayward in that secondary. They had Clinton Dix in that secondary. I had forgot they had all those guys. Sam Shields. And another thing that kind of caught me off guard.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. But I want to veer off a little bit. And another thing that was crazy is Seattle ended up winning that football game, if you guys remember, in the NFC Championship game with him throwing 4 interceptions. So this is what me and Mike always talk about with Matt Ryan. When is Matt Ryan going to get rescued by our defense? When he can have a subpar game or average game and the defense hold up their end of the bargain. Because I really think that Matt Ryan gets a bad rap. People always talk about how great Russell Wilson is. And don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson is great. He's the top 3 quarterback in the game as far as I'm concerned. But my point is, Matt Ryan had basically one mistake in the Super Bowl, that fumble, and everybody talks about us losing that game. When you got Russell Wilson throwing 4 picks in the game and they still win the game, that just goes to show you that if you have a balanced attack on defense, offense, special teams, as K-Stylz was talking about, you can win a lot of football games in different ways, and we don't always have to count on our offense to be the hero at the end of the day. So I'm gonna kick it over to Mike. Hey, Mike.
Well, I'm going to say the secondary for a different opinion, well, a different reason. I think the Falcons have everything in the secondary that you want to match up with any type of receiver. I think if you look at Isaiah Oliver, a lot of people have already written him off. The guy really hasn't had an opportunity to really showcase his talents, and you already have him. You have tape with him going against Michael Thomas. He actually did a very good job against Michael Thomas. Just go back and look at the game. The Falcons pretty much shut that offense down. Of course, Michael Thomas got a couple slants here and there, but it's like outside of that, he held his own against quote unquote, the best receiver in the game. Yeah. And he's going against that guy. You know what I'm saying? He did a damn good job against, Michael Thomas. All right.
Clint Thomas.
Yeah, he did a good job against him, man. And that's against bigger receivers. That's what you want. People expect him to go against smaller shifter. That's not what he's going to do. That's why you got guys like AJ Terrell. That's why you have Kendall Sheffield. Those guys are better suited for smaller, quicker receivers. This is going to be a matchup secondary. The Falcons are going to play a lot of matchup this year, and a lot of people just focus on. I've said this over and over again that the days of shutdown corners are absolutely dead. It's dead. The rules do not allow corners to be physical, and they don't showcase their talent. And I already know that deep side, that deep side. You know what I'm saying? They don't allow defensive back to be physical. So if you expect a corner to be a shutdown corner, that's why Jalen
Ramsey.
What's his name? Jalen Ramsey. I was about to say
Ramsey.
I was about to say Jalen Ramsey. That's why he fell off the earth. They don't allow corners to be physical. So when a corner cannot be physical, there's nothing there. There won't be a consistency in coverage. So the way that you're going to get the best out of corners now is to play them against certain receivers, and that's how you're going to get the best out of an Isaiah Oliver. That's how you're going to get the best out of a AJ Terrell. It's all about matchup. So I think AJ Terrell is going to be on the guys, as like a I just say I want to say Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a speed receiver. He's I wouldn't necessarily say he's a speed receiver, but it's not a lot of. This is why I like this Falcons secondary, because there's not a lot of speed receivers in this NFC South.
Exactly.
That's to be really key. Not a lot of speed receivers, and the Falcons have athletic corners who can run. These dudes can absolutely run. So I think people are just so focused on numbers when it comes down to like Michael Thomas, Michael Evans. These guys are big receivers, but they can be guarded. So when you have athletic guys who are as big as Michael Thomas, as an AJ Terrell is, like that's going to be for the receivers in the NFC South, man. I think we match up well against all the receivers in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Most definitely. When you were saying that, Mike, I was just thinking to myself, like I was thinking of all the teams really quick in the NFC South, and I'm like, we easily have the best secondary in the NFC South. If you think of Tampa, you think of the Panthers, and you think of the Saints, we easily got the best secondary. Easy.
It's not even close. Nobody can tell me who the hell a cornerback is at Tampa. Who the hell Tampa Bay cornerback? Who the hell is it? Like seriously.
The Pirates shooting out the cannons.
They got Hargraves there.
They don't even have Hargraves no more. They got Jamel Dean and some other guy. Some other guys.
The cornerbacks, McGee.
That's it.
Yeah.
Some guys that worked at Walmart the year before. Yeah. We seen it.
But just the point that just to piggyback off the point that you was making, it's one of those situations where you talk about Matt Ryan not getting any credit, because ever since 2011, 2012, I mean, he's basically been carrying this team. In 2008 to 2011, he had at least a little bit of a defense to assist him. Whenever Abraham was still here, but I mean, ever since then, it's basically been chucking and ducking kind of a situation. And
shootout.
Yeah. And it's really tough for him because he also hasn't had a consistent offensive line through that whole time period. So Matt Ryan, he's definitely, especially this year, one of the most underrated players in the league.
Man, can you think about picture giving Matt Ryan 3 turnovers a game? Like picture that. I guarantee that team will be over 35 points a game. Just 35 points a game. I guarantee they will be well over 30 points a game. Easy. Giving this guy 3 turnovers a game, easy, bro. Easy. This guy, they averaged 20-some points, and we weren't getting sometimes not even 1 turnover a game. We weren't even getting turnovers last year, and he's still well over 20 points a game. So picture 3, and you have a running back who actually can convert on short yardage. I honestly do not understand why people are underestimating. This team is the most dangerous I've seen them, because when you look at it, man, like they don't have a ton of weaknesses. When it comes down, the only weakness that I can truly say that this team has, I'm not talking about offense, it's just defense. Like the team, the only question mark for me is coaching. That's it. That's the only question mark for the team is just coaching. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, after last year, it's like I really lost a lot of trust when it came to Dan Quinn. And it's like now it's like I can't basically if the man was knee deep in water and told me that his ankles were wet, I don't know if I'll believe him. I mean, because after he said, well, we're making and I'm taking care of the defense, and now Raheem Morris is taking care of the defense. Not Jeff Olberg and Raheem Morris are taking care of the defense. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, it's kind of a do or die situation. I agree with you, Mike. Coaching is definitely. I mean, we're in a make or break situation where this coaching staff has a chance to do some really great things, or they're going to drop the ball. So I mean, I definitely agree with you on as far as that goes.
We got a question here in the chat, y'all. It says, "Do y'all think Craig Reynolds can contribute to the rushing game?" I would say no. I think that he's just going to be a practice squad player.
No.
Hell to
I
the
gotta get
no.
my 10 minutes. Hell no.
We got too many. We already got too many running backs. Quadri Olison to be lucky
Way
to
too
get his.
big.
He'll be lucky to
your
get.
boy, Jew, your boy balling, Jew.
Hey, I try to tell y'all. Hey, look, I was trying to hold that for the later in the show. Mike, I wasn't even trying to talk about Brian Hill right now. Y'all know how I feel about Brian Hill.
Man, that dude,
Brian Hill
is
a dog.
explosive. He looking good in training camp.
Exactly.
I try to tell y'all, man, Brian Hill, watch out, world. I tell you, Brian Hill on his way, dog. I'm hearing nothing but good things coming out of camp for Brian Hill. Yeah. Everybody that talks about Brian Hill in the media at Flowery Branch is saying he's balling out. And I'm seeing clips of him, and he looks like he just shedded some more weight. And he looks like, hey, watch your back, Todd Gurley. Watch your back. Hey, look, he wants some snaps. And from what I'm hearing out of camp is that and that's that dynamic duo. And I'm telling people, if we can get that running game going in the red zone, that's been our issue in the red zone. When you get down low, deep in the red zone, you have to be able to run the football. If you can't run the football, and that's what Todd Gurley adds to this team. Everybody's like, well, Todd Gurley, even if Todd Gurley is 80%, one thing about Todd Gurley, he's super athletic. So he gets to the goal line, we already know what he's finna do. He's finna leap over the line. He finna get athletic and leap over the line. You know he loves hurdling. He gonna go and hurdle over somebody and get that touchdown.
All the time. You know it.
Man,
so,
but the thing is though, Jules, like, you know, it's kind of go back to what Mike was talking about, because, you know, that's part of the reason why we're having the issues at the goal line. A lot of it has to do with coaching. When you get to the goal line, I notice that we're still running zone running schemes. You can't do that when there's 7 people at the line of scrimmage and 10 people in the box. You see
exactly.
what? So it's like, you know, that's where coaching comes in, and you got to be like, hey guys, we're gonna have to change things up and try to run a power scheme and just run right at them instead of saying, hey, let's run to the side. You pick, go in there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's when you call the I formation. That's what I do. When you get that deep, you go I formation, and that's when you get to bring the big boys in. Y'all remember when we had Dontari Poe? They put him at fullback and say, this create a look. It ain't got to be no gap there. You make a gap, and they're gonna run right behind you. And that's what we need, man. But hey, Mike, I've been hearing the good things out of Brian Hill, man. Hey, fantasy owners, all I gotta say is look out for Brian Hill. He one of those quiet guys that's gonna probably get a bunch of touchdowns, them little short, easy touchdowns. That's one of them guys that's a sleeper in fantasy.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, that's one person that's gonna be hard for is gonna be Ito Smith.
Yeah.
Like you said, Brian Hill dropped that weight. It's going to be hard for Ito to get on that field, especially with his injury history. And like you said, that I formation, damn that, get that jumbo formation.
Yeah.
Woo!
Get physical.
Exactly. Like you said, you don't want to move sideways on the goal line. You want to punch somebody in the mouth.
You hit somebody, they hit you.
Put big Mikey Daniels in there. That rookie we got, he looked big, man. That Mikey Daniels looked pretty big. He looking good. He looking healthy. Put him back there and just run right behind him.
Exactly. You won't nose bleeding at the goal line.
Oh yeah, man.
You don't want no Olays over there, boy. This ain't bullfighting.
No.
No, they don't, man.
I really think that you know, with Brian Hill though, it's one of those situations where I think he kind of sees the writing on the wall. I mean, because we don't know we don't know what's going to happen with Todd Gurley. You know, this could just be a 1-year thing. I think he's just trying to seize the opportunity. You know, so.
Oh yeah, man. If he's smart, he should seize the opportunity. Yeah. And I was telling them that I seen Brian Hill being a capable starter. Every time I watch him, he reminds me of Chris Carson that played for Seattle. I talked about it last week. That he reminds me of. Every time I see him, he reminds me of Chris Carson, and Chris Carson's a beast. So if he anything like Chris Carson, he's gonna be a dog.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
But this is a good one, y'all. Y'all think Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff survives the season or gets extended? Do y'all want me to take this first? But this was something that I had stewing all week long. I was like, this gonna be a good one.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Man, I hate questions like this. I can't stand questions like this. I really hate it. I can say this bullshit about anybody. Do you think goddamn Tech? Do you think Matt Ryan is gonna throw 5,000? Do you think Julio going to go for 2,000? Like, man, who the fuck knows? No, nobody knows. We have no idea. Did anybody see Don O'Neal, Ricardo Allen, Desmond Trufant, all of them guys going out in the same season? Did we see that? Like, this is that like. Just look, man. Just take it because I'm about to get upset. Oh, just do your thing, dude. Just do it.
Just relax. Woosah.
I hate questions like this.
Woosah a little bit.
I'm so serious. I hate questions like this. Like,
hey, look.
Do you think they're gonna get fired, like, bro? Can we win? Can we play a game before we talk about somebody getting fired? Like, bro, Jesus Christ.
Relax, Mike. I'm about to pull the crystal ball out for you, dog. I got you. This is a
go
positive.
ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
This is positive. Look, tell them, y'all. This is positive Atlanta Falcons content. Of course, Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff are gonna get extended, and they're gonna make it out of the season. They're gonna survive the season. I've been saying
that's
this.
Right,
and the reason I wanted
positive news.
There you
just
go.
had to say something.
Yeah, I gotta bring my crystal ball out for Mike. Just put the crystal ball out. All I need is one of them little head wraps. You know how they do. Hey, look, I've been saying this since we were 1-7 last year. If you want to go back on my channel, go back through my videos. I talked about Dan Quinn. Not so much Thomas Dimitroff, just Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is finna get ready to save Thomas Dimitroff bacon this season. But they both are going to survive the season. They both are going to get a contract extension because I see the Falcons making a deep playoff run this year. And personally, I feel like the Falcons are at least getting to the NFC Championship game. That's just personally me. The reason I say that, and Mike, we talked about this after our show the other day. This is the deepest team that Dan Quinn has ever had, period. Offense, defense, special teams, you name it. This is the deepest team he's had. Everybody always gets on Dan Quinn and say, I thought he was a defensive guru. I don't care what coach you got. You can give Bill Belichick in basketball. You can get Greg Popovich. You can get Phil Jackson. What do all of those coaches have? Great players. I don't care who you are. You can be the best coach ever. But if you don't have the talent,
quality players,
it doesn't matter. You need talent. And that's the biggest issue that I've seen the last couple seasons. I was watching Undisputed, and they were talking about Earl Thomas. Everybody know Earl Thomas got released from the Ravens. And where I'm going with this is they talked about how Seattle, all they ran was cover three.
Let me hold on. I gotta address this goddamn real talk. Get your ass out of my fucking chat. Get your Buccaneer looking ass out of here. Nobody want to hear that bullshit.
Well,
worry about that sorry ass old ass damn. Get that sorry ass old ass not Drew Brees, the old ass. What's his name? Fucking Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
That motherfucker can't even run he can't even run a goddamn 4. He can't even run a 5 flat. Sitting here talking about what if firing Dan Quinn. Worry about that old ass man trying to throw the damn ball 20, 15 damn feet down the damn yards down the damn field. Get your ass out of here. It's Falcons Day. It's Falcons Day. Nobody give a fuck about no damn Bucks.
Tell them
I'm sorry, but no. Man, yeah, I had that buck little motherfucker out of here talking that shit because he got some damn Tom Brady old ass. Nobody get by. Y'all got some damn nerd to come up here and the damn Falcons chat. Y'all damn Buccaneer. Y'all ain't won shit in 1980. All right, get the hell out of here.
He probably
right,
a new.
Go ahead, man.
He probably
tell him, Mike.
Man, 2 weeks ago.
Tell him, Mike. People go to Florida to retire. That's why he came to Tampa.
Man,
Brady came down to Tampa to retire.
They go to Florida.
He came down here. He came down to Tampa to retire, dog. Ain't no state taxes. Trust me, I live in Florida. He came down to Tampa to go ahead and retire. Go ahead and go to that retirement home because he done. He ain't winning no more Super Bowls. He ain't getting back to no Super Bowls. So we ain't gonna even worry about them trolls, Mike. As you talked on your last show, we ain't worried about them trolls. Anyway, as we were saying, basically I was talking about.
He is a creator. That's why I wanted him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
y'all go on his channel, Falcons fan, and go talk shit all day long and download all his videos. Hey, dog, don't do that. Don't do that. Dog, I'm a bad influence. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't download all his videos, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Look, don't go in there and troll. Just go in there and talk junk.
I'm a bad influence. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. No, don't do that. Don't do that, y'all. I apologize. All right, so keep going. My bad.
Look, now I got to see where I was going with it. So I was talking about Earl Thomas, and I was talking about Seattle. And the thing about Seattle was they could run cover 3 all day, basically, because they knew they had the better players. They had the secondary players to do it. They had Richard Sherman, as y'all know. They had Cam Chancellor. They had Earl Thomas. So my point, what I was making about Dan Quinn, is when you have the talent, that's what matters. The talent is what actually wins you the games. Yeah, you gotta be a great coach, and yeah, players gotta play their roles, but you need those key players. And like you were talking about, Mike, who knew that Deion Jones, Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal, all of those players, Trufant, all those guys were gonna go down, and it seemed like all of our defensive leaders went down. So I mean, when your impact players, if they would have had Richard Sherman go down, Cam Chancellor go down, all of their top guys, Bobby Wagner. It's only so many times you can say next man up. Yeah. So I'm really crossing my fingers because for our Falcons, to me, the player that's the X factor that we really cannot afford to get hurt. Y'all knock on some wood if y'all near some wood. I'm knocking on my desk right now. Is Deion Jones. Deion Jones and Keanu Neal. But Deion Jones is really what makes this team go because it's not many linebackers like him. He's a freak. He can cover linebackers. He can cover running backs. He can cover a lot of blemishes. So he's that guy. We remember when Deion Jones a couple seasons ago went down with injuries for about half the season, and Afoye Aluakon, his rookie year, had to step in. We remember how terrible our coverage was in the middle of the field on that second level. So we know the highest percentage of passes in this league is across the middle. So the tight ends, the running backs, those are the easy check down routes. And that's what Deion Jones takes away. He takes away those quick hot routes. So he's that player that we can't afford to lose. But I feel like I've been talking too long, so I'm gonna kick it to y'all, man. What y'all think?
Well, I think you made a good point there, Drew. I kind of disagree with you though, as far as like great players.
Go with it.
Because because like for example, you talk about that Seattle Seahawks situation. Were those players really great? Like, was Brandon Browner really good? Like, was Cam Chancellor really good? Because whenever they went to different teams, they didn't get the same results. I think it was just a situation where they fit in that system. You see what I'm saying? It kind of picked up of what Mike was saying. You talk about like the Spurs and unless you're a team like the Lakers who just get the top level superstars, it's one of those situations where you make a plan. And you get the type of players that you want for that plan, and that's when everything's come together beautifully. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I almost got the chance. Go with it, man. Got lost in the question right there. Yeah. Mike threw me off with that.
Look, let me reel it back in, K-Stylz. I forgot. Louisa took the question down. We saying is DQ and Thomas Dimitroff gonna make it out of the season. Personally, I say yeah, just because I think he has the pieces to do it. If Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff can't do it with this deep roster, you ain't doing it. If we don't make the playoffs this year, they done. Go ahead, K-Stylz.
You basically said it. Like I said, it's all gonna depend on this year.
Yeah.
Like you said, with all the moves that they made, is already showing you that they already know it's a make or break year.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, that ass is grass if you don't make the playoff.
It's kind of, I get kind of worried about it because if it's one of those situations where it's a make or break year for them, or is Dimitrov? Is he just going to put all his chips on the table? And if he gets fired, then that's just the next man's problem. You know, I get kind of worried about that. You know.
Well, I'm the only reason why I'm not worried about them being fired because we have Rich McKay, he's a former GM himself. Like he can come in if he wanted to build a staff. He's a well-known guy in the NFL. Okay, he's a well-known guy in the NFL. He will have absolutely no problem hiring a coaching staff immediately. He will be fine. He's done this before. Said this before over and over again. Falcons fans. The reason why the Atlanta Falcons weren't as good on the defensive side of the ball because we did not have Rich McKay, who was the true architect of this team. He's the true architect of this team. He was brought in to help assist Dan Quinn on the defensive side of the ball as far as bringing in talent. So when he's not there, he's handling things with the stadium, then the defense is going to help. The defense is going to hurt. So it's like I tell people all the time, like everybody put so much. They look at Bill Belichick as this guy, you know, he's just the greatest coach of all time. And when you look at his defense has always been up and down, up and down. He has some top defense, but he has some very poor defenses. But what saved them all these years is playing in that piece of trash, dumps, juice division. What they like, who the Jets ain't did shit in 20 years. The damn Dolphins ain't did shit in 20 years. The damn
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo
Bills.
The Bills ain't did shit in the 90s, and even in the 90s they wasn't doing shit. So it's like that division is absolute trash. You know what I'm saying? Like all they have to do is beat. Say it again.
Oh, my bad, Mike. I thought you were gonna say that the camera saved Bill Belichick. My bad. I thought.
Oh, that went exactly what I was gonna go with.
Man.
Because that's why I said Tom Brady overrated as hell.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have rules.
Hey man. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like man, circumstances allow coaches to be as good. It's like we play in a division. We've always played in a division where it's one of the best divisions in the league.
Yeah.
In the league, the Saints are no pushover.
No.
The Panthers in their worst years are no pushover.
Exactly.
And the Bucks are no pushover. This is competitive division. This is not like Tom Brady and that soft ass division that he played in for 20 years. So this is like I always say, man, it's like you gotta look at circumstances. You can't just look at Tom Brady as he did this for 20 years. He played in the most trash. Go ahead, next question. I don't want to get on. Like I can rip them all day, but I'm not just gonna do it. Let's go. Let's go to the next question, man. I know y'all got some questions for us, man.
All right, man. So this is
he already
question.
got it. He already got it. Drew already got it.
What team will challenge the Falcons for the NFC crown? We're gonna go with the guest of honor. What you think, Big Low? You can name a couple teams. It ain't got to be one team. What teams you think is out there that's gonna challenge us?
All right, so I might be coming out of left field with this. So I think the Saints. I think they're on the decline, and I'm not just saying this because I hate the Saints. I think they're going to be bottom feeders this year. I think Drew Brees is going to get an imaginary injury, and Jameis Winston's going to be the starting quarterback.
Wow.
I think the Bucks. I think they're overrated. I don't think there's enough Geritol in Tampa Bay.
Wow!
I like the punchline. The punchline is good.
I think.
Wow!
Anytime a new coach comes into the league, you know we don't have any film on them. Teddy Bridgewater is a very, very good quarterback, very underrated quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, his Irish eyes are always smiling. I think the Panthers are gonna do. I think the Panthers are gonna be the number 2 team in the division this year.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a bomb right there.
I like that.
You got any other teams you think that's going to challenge? They don't have to be in the NFC South. Any team that's going to be in the playoffs, you think that's going to give us a run for our money? I see Dallas Cowboys.
Get the fuck out of here.
Y'all got look. Y'all got
Get the hell out of here with that bullshit.
Y'all gotta learn how to beat the Eagles first. Y'all gotta learn how to beat the Eagles first.
Hey, I mean, as far as in the NFC, I mean, Kyle Shanahan did us wrong, but I think he's a bad boy. And I think that team's gonna be good for a few years to come. I hopefully he doesn't lose his playbook. You know, next time he goes to the Super Bowl like stars.
Shit, he ain't got to lose that motherfucker. He forget how to goddamn run the ball.
There you go.
He just forget how to run the damn ball.
There you go. What about you, Kevin? What teams you think gonna challenge in the NFC for the crown?
I got two teams. I think the first one I'm gonna go with Green Bay on the first one. And then the second one, I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons.
I can see that.
I know y'all like that one.
What other teams out there you think gonna challenge?
Like I said, I said the Falcons.
Falcons. What about you, Mike? What you think, Mike?
Yep.
I mean to cut you off. Were you done, Kevin? Go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like I said, they control their own destiny. Like I said, they play their game. They can beat anybody in the NFC. That's why I say them. So we are our blessing and our worst enemy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make or break year.
What about you, Mike? Before I get this long answer.
I had the Eagles in mind, but being that they lost yet another offensive tackle, I can't give them. It's like, bro, it's like you lost two offensive tackles. You can't come back from that. I don't care who you are. Nobody can come back from losing two offensive tackles to injury. So I'm just going to disqualify them. That Washington football team, they don't deserve to be. They don't even deserve to have a team. Not the players, just the organization, man. So I'm gonna go on and just say, this is hard, man. Like this is really hard. I damn sure can't say the Dallas Cowgirls, just because of Dakota. Like he don't even know when he's allowed to run. He act like a goddamn slave. He don't know when the hell he don't know when he can do what he can do. Shit. He don't know what the hell he can do when he can do it. So I don't like this. This is the first time, and I'll say this. If Chicago find a quarterback and if they can get a consistent quarterback, I think they'll be a pretty good team. If it's all just on the quarterback. It's all on the quarterback. If they can get consistent play from the quarterback, I think they'll be a dangerous team. But I just like this just seems like to me is setting up on the Atlanta Falcons and Green Bay Packers, man. I just like Green Bay, they taking that blueprint that the Falcons are doing. They putting a running game around Aaron Rodgers. I think this is the last hurrah for them. Obviously they trying to ship him out by drafting a quarterback. So I'm thinking that like if they can get the run game going with Aaron Rodgers, man, I think they'll be a very dangerous team along with the Atlanta Falcons. But I think mainly it would be the Bears because of that defense. And if this is a miracle, okay? This is a miracle. If they can get some decent quarterback play, it'll be a very difficult team to play.
But you know what they say? You know they say that if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
That's what they say.
Right.
All right, y'all brace yourself. Y'all ready for my long answer? Brace yourself now.
I got my beer.
Right, go ahead, do your thing, man.
Y'all go. Everybody, take a sip real quick.
Yeah.
Y'all take a breath because I'm about to go in. Okay, so let's break this thing down. What's the team that's always in our way? Seattle. Seattle's the first team I'm gonna say, and the reason I say Seattle is because Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He's a bad man. As Stephen A. Smith always says about Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson is a bad man. And long as Russell Wilson is under center in Seattle, they're always going to be in the mix. Always. Because he's one of those guys that's just a playmaker. Point blank in the period. Pete Carroll and that organization up in Seattle, they just have a win. They built a winning culture there. Point blank in the period. I'm just going to go ahead and say just Russell Wilson. That's the only reason I'm saying Seattle is because of Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Everybody sleeps on DK Metcalf, and he's one of those guys that I think in his second year, he's really going to take off. And he was a guy that was slept on coming out of the draft. I don't know why, because he was breaking all the records at the combine. I don't know what teams were looking at when they were on the draft board, when they were interested in taking a receiver. But Seattle's my first team because they're always in our way. Now, also, y'all know that they brought in Jamal Adams at that safety position. And I really think that that's going to be huge for them. The only knock I'll have against Seattle is I don't know what that defensive line is going to do without, they lost. What's your boy name? That he's still sitting out waiting to get paid. Davion Clowney. So they really don't have that pass rusher that you can kind of hang your hat on. That's the only thing I got against Seattle. So I think we can overcome them if we face them in the playoffs, even though Russell Wilson's always pulling magic or pulling the rabbit out of a hat. The second team is in the NFC West as well, and that's Kyle Shanahan and those 49ers. It has nothing to do with Kyle Shanahan. A lot of people think that they're going to be a threat to us because of Kyle Shanahan. No, it's that defensive line that they have in the 49ers.
Receivers that he picking out the dumpster.
Right.
I mean, they're shopping in the dumpster for receivers.
Yeah, it's that defensive line, Mike. It's that defensive line that is what really scares me about the 49ers. Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, them guys they got over there, Eric Armstead, I believe his name is. Yeah. They got that defensive line, and y'all know I love defensive line play. And if you don't give Matt Ryan time to pass that ball and our offensive line, is not doing their job, that's a team that their defensive line can overwhelm you at times. And that's what they did last year to a lot of teams. They're a team that plays that old school football, that old school 90s football. They're going to run the ball, they're going to drain the clock, and they're going to play physical up front on defense. So that's the second team that's kind of scares me in the NFC. Now, the next team is not in the NFC East. It's actually the Green Bay Packers. That bad man, Aaron Rodgers. I really think that he's going to be pissed off this year because they drafted a quarterback. That kid Love that they drafted that's behind him. I really think that's pissed them off. And one thing you don't want to do with Aaron Rodgers, I can't stand Aaron Rodgers because he's one of the cockiest quarterbacks in the league, but he has the skills to back it up. And he's the dude that just called double check cat. He's that dude. Everybody has forgotten about him because Pat Mahomes is now Miss Universe, and he's the new hot thing that everybody done jumped on. Everybody done jumped on his train, but Aaron Rodgers still can play some football, y'all. And I really think that he's going to be pissed off and ticked off this season. Now, the only thing with the Packers, to me, their Achilles heel is I just watched the 49ers last year in the NFC Championship game straight run the ball like it was a peewee game over and over and over and over, and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah, they did.
And I don't think y'all, a lot of people realize they lost their best linebacker. The kid Martinez that they had playing middle linebacker doesn't play for them anymore.
Yeah.
So I really think that they're going to struggle to stop the run again. And I really think that they're going to end up being in shootouts again. So that's the reason I say that Green Bay. So every team that we face, I think we can beat each one of those teams because all of them have a weakness. Seattle's weakness is the defense, as I talked about. The 49ers' weakness is they don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. When it was time to give Jimmy Garoppolo the ball and put the ball in his hands in the Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan was scared. He didn't want to put that ball in his hands. And when he had the ball in his hands, he couldn't deliver. And one thing that you never want to do to your quarterback is not have faith in him. And that's the biggest thing. And the reason I think that Dallas is going to take a step back. A lot of people think that Dallas is going to do big things this year. And I agree with Mike. Dak Prescott when he didn't get that contract, actions speak louder than words, is what I was once told. Yeah. And because Jerry Jones them didn't want to break out that pocketbook and make him the highest paid quarterback in the league, and this was before Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying give him $500+ million. I'm talking about they had a chance to sign him before Pat Mahomes got that big money, and they weren't willing to do it. And I'm telling you guys, as he talk about Dak Prescott don't know when to run like a slave, he definitely ain't gonna know when to run now, because if this let me run and it's a middle linebacker right there or a defensive and I can stretch for that first down and I might have to put my throwing shoulder and lean in for that first down, I'm not doing it if I don't have a long-term contract. That's just me personally. I'm gonna throw the ball out of bounds. And I really think that his confidence level is gonna go like this. I think his confidence level is gonna really slide this year. And he has a lot of pressure on his back because they brought in CeeDee Lamb. He got all of the weapons in the world over there. And if he don't produce, he knows that he's not gonna get paid what he deserves. So that's my long answer for you guys, y'all. That's the team I say that's gonna challenge us. Green Bay, the 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Those are my top 3 teams.
Yeah, you made a good point, Jude, about that having all those weapons, because I don't know if y'all remember whenever Matt Ryan got all those weapons himself, like whenever he had Tony Gonzalez, Julio, and Roddy White, and had everybody else to throw the ball to. Like sometimes that could pose as a challenge because you were like, well, wait a minute, who should I throw the ball to? Roddy's not getting enough touches. Let me try to force one to him. But that might be the same situation with Dak, because he has Gallup and Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I want to expand on that. Just go ahead. I want to expand on what you just said.
My bad. I was just gonna say that I think Aaron Rodgers is overrated. I think he's overrated. I think. I mean, since he won the Super Bowl, what has he done? Like, he's overrated. Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers.
Not a damn thing. Nothing. He's done nothing.
I think they just love
discount double check checks.
I work for State. I work for State. They don't even talk about Aaron Rodgers no more. So I mean,
that's because they ain't dating him no more.
I'm say this.
Oh yeah, I'm about to ask Juice. So
right,
he said Seattle. So you think without that 12th man, you think it'll be the same team?
I think it's gonna be tough, but I feel like as long as you got Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson is like Jesus Christ, man. That dude be turning water into wine. And I ain't trying to say he Jesus, but I'll tell you this. I remember he's never had a consistent offensive line. And he's one of those guys where people think that Russell Wilson runs the ball to actually gain yardage. No, he runs the ball to throw the ball deep down the field. He'll improvise. I've seen him in the backfield, and I know he's dead to rights. He's sacked. Next thing you know, he turns water into wine, and he's throwing the ball down the field to Tyler Lockett, to DK Metcalf, and it kind of reminds me of Michael Vick when he was here. The difference between him and Michael Vick, when Michael Vick took off the run, he was taking off the run, pull the ball down and run. He didn't keep looking down the field. With Russell Wilson, when he gets back there improvising, he continues to just backpedal. He doesn't look to run with the ball. His last option is running with the football. He's looking to make a big play down the field. And Mike already just talked about safeties and cornerbacks can't only cover for so long. Yeah. And when you got somebody back there scrambling like that, it makes you panic as a defender because you don't know where he is. Guys are breaking their routes off, and your back, most of the time, the defender's back is turned to Russell Wilson. So in my mind, if I'm a cornerback or a defensive back, if I'm at 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and I'm at like 7 seconds, I'm thinking that he's sacked. So I'm turning around looking like he ain't on the ground yet. And usually Russell Wilson's still back there dancing around, pirouetting, doing circles. And next thing you know, his receiver then broke down the field wide open for a 60-yard, 50-yard play. So that's what scares me about Russell Wilson is he's one of those guys that he's so unpredictable. Once the play breaks down, that I think he's to me is one of the scariest guys when the game is on the line because you never know what he's going to do, and that's what scares me about Russell Wilson. But go ahead, Mike.
Well, I don't think it matters how many weapons that you have. I don't think that matters at all. It's like it's okay to have a Julio, Calvin Ridley. But if you don't have a quarterback with the mentality of spreading the ball around, it's like, what's the point of even having those weapons?
Exactly.
Dak doesn't have that mentality of spreading the ball. He focuses on a couple of targets. That's the reason why Dez Bryant is no longer with. That's the reason why he's no longer with Dallas to begin with, because Dakota used to focus on 3 targets. It was Zeke, Jason Witten, and I forget the other receiver, Beasley. Those are the 3 guys he could throw. Matt Ryan is a completely different type of quarterback. Drew Brees is a completely type of quarterback. Tom Brady are completely different types of quarterback. Why? Because they don't give a damn if you are the 5th receiver. If your ass is open, we're throwing the ball to you. So everybody always say, "Oh, we need weapons. We need weapons." Matt Ryan don't give a fuck who it is. Motherfucker threw a touchdown to 13. He threw the ball a touchdown at 13 was an NFL record. If you don't have the mentality of spreading the ball around, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many weapons that you have. It does not matter, okay? It doesn't matter. So all these people are talking about Matt Ryan had Julio, he had Tony Gonzalez, he had Roddy White. It doesn't matter. If your ass can't get open, if you're not open, and your quarterback doesn't have that mentality of spreading the ball around, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many weapons. And this is the reason why, this is one of the reasons why Dak is no longer a favorite in Dallas, because they understand that. When you go back and you look at even Troy Aikman was that same type of, he didn't give a damn who it was. He didn't get who was open. As long as you were open, he was going to pass you the ball. And that's the true sight of a quarterback. If you are open, if the quarterback cannot find open receivers, does not matter. Tom Brady can find, like he was throwing the damn ball to Hogan. Chris Hogan or whatever his name. Who the hell? This man was playing in the Canadian Football League.
He don't care. He don't care.
And Tom Brady was making him look like a star. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. It don't matter who, it doesn't matter how much talent. Talent is important, but you got to have a quarterback who has that mentality of spreading the ball around. So, like people like to get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? People really love to get it twisted, but like, yeah, is all good, but you got to have that quarterback who can see who is open. If you're open, you're going to get the ball. And that's what you need from the quarterback. And Dakota Prescott is so not that.
No.
I want to piggyback on what you said a little bit, Mike, about Dak Prescott real quick. And we're not going to turn this into a Dallas Cowboys talk, but I want to talk about real quick. I think another thing that a lot of people are looking over is he's also going into a new system. They got a new head coach. So we all know when Matt Ryan would get a new coordinator, it's tough when you're going into a season. And this is like a weird season. Where we didn't have preseason. And I really think that this is going to be another thing that's going to actually be a hurdle that Dak Prescott is going to have, is dealing with a whole new scheme, dealing with a new head coach and Mike McCarthy, who likes to do things a certain type of way. So when you're trying to learn a new philosophy and you're in the actual season where you really didn't have a regular training camp, regular preseason games, it's going to really be tough for Dak Prescott. So I hope for Dallas' sake that they actually simplify things. Because if he doesn't simplify things, we all know who Mike McCarthy was coaching prior to this. It was Aaron Rodgers. And I'm telling you right now, Dak Prescott is not no Aaron Rodgers.
No.
We might think Aaron Rodgers is overrated, but he ain't Aaron Rodgers. He ain't Aaron Rodgers. So that's why I say there's a lot of pressure on Dak Prescott going into this season. And that's why you pay the man. I don't care who you are. If that's your quarterback, you pay the man. And that's why I know that they don't believe in him, man. They don't believe in him. They don't believe in him. If you believe in him, you pay him. I've never seen Matt Ryan go without a contract. You pay your quarterback. I ain't never seen Matt Ryan go hungry. He on his second $100 million deal. And he dang near what, 35, 36 years old? So that's just proof in the pudding. They didn't pay him because they don't believe in him. Carson Wentz got paid and he ain't stayed healthy and he got paid. So it just looks bad, man. It really looks bad on Dallas part.
Yeah. You tell. I mean,
Freddie, appreciate that.
Thanks, Fred. Wow. Dak's not a Matt Ryan. He's not a Drew Brees. He's not an Aaron Rodgers. He's not a Russell Wilson. But speaking of Russell Wilson, I got a question for you, Jew. Do you think Russell Wilson listens to goodies before every game just to get them hyped up, or you think?
I'm gonna say this. Look, Sierra doing something right because every time I turn around, Sierra pregnant. So all I know is they doing something right. Because every time I turn around, Sierra having another baby. So hey, she doing something right because Russell Wilson out here balling.
Something going right.
All she's saying is, oh.
She doing something right.
Oh man.
There go a good question in the chat,
So
y'all.
what do you
from? Do y'all think Deidre Sanat is going to make the roster?
Kevin, go.
Y'all
Kevin,
want me to take that? Go ahead, Kevin. Come on, Kevin.
Kevin, go ahead, Kevin.
We see you over there greeting your team. Go ahead.
You don't want to see him too close now. He kind of jacked up, but I'm gonna just say it like. But I think he will make the team. Because, like I said, for a defense like this, you have to be at least 9 deep on the defensive line, no matter what. Like I said, he might not get as much playing time as we want him to, but you still need somebody there to spot it when they need it. Because you don't, like I said, even when Grady Jarrett gets tired or something like that, or the Davidson twins get tired or something like that, you still need an extra body. He may be that extra body that puts this defense over as well.
Hey, Big Low.
Plus, I want to see a sack dance too with him rubbing the belly too.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that one.
That's all I gotta say on that one.
I don't think he's gonna make it. I really wish that he would. But I don't think he's gonna make it. I think with the Davidson twins, Grady, and everybody's forgetting about John Kaminsky. I think there's not be the spot for him. I definitely hope he gets another opportunity because it's with his story and everything, and I hear that he has a really good work ethic, but I don't think it'll happen this year, unfortunately.
Coming with it, Big Low, because I agree with you, man. You on point. Like you've been in the show the whole time. Me and you in the same vein, dog. I feel the same way. I don't think he's gonna make the roster. And the reason I say that, every time I start naming people on the roster, even when I'm doing my videos and I'm trying to think of names of people that's on this roster, I always forget people. And that's why I say that this team is super deep. Yeah. I forgot you were just naming people, Big Low. We keep forgetting too. Alan Bailey is on this team.
Yeah.
Stephen Means is on this team.
Yeah,
Alan Bailey's on this team. Stephen Means is on this team. John Kaminsky's on this team. And I think the biggest problem that he's going to have is we got so many guys on this team that's multi-dimensional. And that's what's going to kill his playing time. Because you can slide Kaminsky in at that 3 tech or that nose tackle position. You can slide John Kaminsky inside. You can slide Marlon Davidson inside. You got Tyler Davidson already inside. You got Grady Jarrett already inside. That's too many guys that play inside. So that automatically cuts them from the roster right there because there's just too many guys that they believe in. It's different if we had a bunch of guys there that nobody really believed in. But we got guys that are like ballers. You got Grady. You got Tyler Davidson. And to me, I already know, I feel like Marlon Davidson is going to be a baller. But the only hope he has is Marlon Davidson's injury is more serious than they're telling us. Because what I'm hearing coming out of camp is that Marlon Davidson hasn't been practicing and that they're taking it slow with him because he hurt his leg, either his leg or his knee. So if that's a serious injury, knock on wood, then that might save Deidre Sanat. But if Marlon Davidson and all of those guys I just named are healthy, he's the last one on that list that they believe in because we've seen it like the last 2 to 3 seasons. They won't even let the man dress out.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school and it was guys that weren't dressing out, that meant you was trash. I'm sorry. And I don't want to call Deidre not trash. But if you was over there in a sweatsuit, unless you were seriously injured with like a broken arm, broken leg, torn Achilles, or like a season-ending injury, them guys that's over there in the sweatsuits, that means that you ain't showing enough in practice and they don't believe in you. That's what it tells me. And I really don't think that Dan Quinn and those guys believe in Deidre Sanat. As much as I feel like he hasn't got a fair shake, but it's just like he didn't ball out. And without preseason, I really thought that preseason was going to be his shot to kind of prove himself when he got into those games where he could show the coaches, like, look, I've been working out all summer. I've seen those workout takes with him getting, hit in the belly and he doing pull-ups and the dude hit him in the stomach and hit him in the chest with the medicine ball. And I'm like, he looked really good. He trimmed down. But without the preseason, I feel like a lot of players that would have had a chance to show their stuff is not going to get a chance to show their stuff. So automatically, we're just too deep at his position. And he's not that multifaceted where you can use him inside and outside. And we all know that Dan Quinn loves those guys that are versatile. If you're not a Swiss Army knife, and if you only can play one role, it's only one guy on this team that's playing that one role inside, and that's Tyler Davison. Everybody else, you can play anywhere on the line. I really think that's going to hurt Deidre Sanat's chances. So I see him getting cut just because of those reasons.
Yeah.
What you think, Mike?
Do we really have to talk about Deidre Sanat? Like, I'd rather talk about Pizza Hut or something. Like, I mean, nah. I just don't see, like, my thing is that got a new defensive. Hold up, there's a defensive line coach. I think got a new defensive line coach in.
Tosh Laporte.
And Tosh Laporte. Like, I don't think they are in the mindset of developing players. And once you get rid of a defensive line coach and he fails to a certain degree, that's the reason why you fire him in the begin with. He failed at something. For the most part, you're moving on from Tag. You move on from Vic Beasley. And obviously, Deidre Sanat fell out of grace with Dan Quinn and the defensive line, even Raheem Morris. Like, Raheem Morris took over as far as, like, rotation is concerned in certain areas of the defense. Dan Quinn, believe it or not, the guy who runs the rotations with defensive line. He doesn't get in the way with the secondary. He just lets Raheem Morris does his thing, as well as Jeff Ulbrich. He let those guys handle the rotations as far as their position is concerned. And Dan Quinn runs the rotation with the defensive line. So being that we saw that last year with Deidre Sanat falling out of grace with Dan Quinn. It's like Dan Quinn is he is in charge of the 53. It's like the active roster. He's in charge of the active roster. So when you don't see a guy that is active on the defensive side of the ball, that's a huge sign that, like, he's no longer going to be here with us. So what I'm thinking what's going to happen with Deidre Sanat, if they don't get anything from him, they're going to try to see if they can. But for the most part, I just don't see him. I don't see him with the Falcons. I mean, let's just be real, man. That man been sucking air since damn year two, and he still ain't played. He played one game, and that was it. And that was only because Grady Jarrett had an ankle injury.
Yeah. I know. I think Jude. I think you mentioned earlier. You said you're talking about the people who, back when we were in high school, the people that didn't dress out. They were just wearing the jumpsuits and everything. Whenever I coached, we used to call them hamburger eaters.
Hamburger eaters.
They ain't do nothing.
Look, hamburger eaters or bodyguards. One of the two.
Yeah.
You standing around with an earpiece in, you ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. They wasn't even bringing water to nobody. They just sitting there, So, but I mean, he's not dressing out and everything. But there is a possibility, because I don't know if y'all remember, we paid Bailey a lot of money, and I don't think he really produced the way they were thinking that he would. So I mean, he might get cut whenever the cut's coming. He might,
he's more of a base guy. He's more of a base guy. So I think they need base guys they have a lot of guys who can get after the pass. They can get after the passer. That's what Justin Tutui Merida. He's a guy who can come in and play in. He can go inside. So they have a lot of guys who can play, the pass, but they don't have a lot of guys who can play the run. And I think that's why you have Davidson, and that's why you have Bailey. Those guys are going to pretty much they are the base guys. They want a ton of snaps, but they're going to be in on the goal line, those short yardage situations. And that's why, look at DJ Sanat. He's not a very big guy. He doesn't have great hands. And that's the big thing. This team in this NFL, especially if you're going to play inside, because a lot of these offensive guards like Chris Lindstrom, these dudes are absolutely, crazy athletic. If you don't have good hands to go against those guys, you're going to get ate up. So DJ Sanat doesn't have great hands, and he's for lunch, man. But yeah, our producer, Miss Maggie T, is cussing us out right now for going over time. So I think we better answer these questions, man. Do you think we'll have a top 10? All right. I thought that was a top 10 defense. Let's just do that real fast, man. Justin, go ahead, dog. Below
top 10 defense.
Top 10 defense. Do you think the Falcons have?
I think so. I think with the 6 games that we're going to have in the division, like I said earlier, I don't think the offense is going to be what it used to be, and Teddy Bridgewater, he dinks and dunks. If we could stop their run, I think we'll have a good game against them. And Buccaneers, y'all know how I feel about that. But I mean, as far as the other games, I believe we have a chance to be a top 10, definitely in the top half of the league. But I definitely feel like we have a chance to be a top 10 defense. But if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. That depends on if somebody gets injured or I mean, right. I mean that's in a perfect world. If everybody stays healthy, I definitely feel like that could be the case.
Go ahead,
K-Stylz.
I think as long as they stay healthy, because that's going to be the big key right there. And I think finally now you have more ball hawks in the secondary, and then you have more of a more gritty mentality that's coming in with the defensive line. Yeah, I can see a top 10 just as long as they all stay healthy all 16 games.
What about you?
How I feel. Yep, I can smell it. Top 10 defense. I smell what the Rock is cooking. It's gonna be a top 10 defense. And the reason I say that,
you got that right.
If you can stop the run, and Dante Fowler, one of the first things he said when he came in, one of the first things he said to the media, you stop the run, you earn the right to rush the passer.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm looking for from this defense. Yeah. If we get nasty up front and this defensive line, as he talked about, Alan Bailey, I've been hearing a lot about John Cominsky. I don't know if you guys watched Grady Jarrett's video. He talked about the little scrimmage they had today. And he talked about John Cominsky. He believes in John Cominsky. If John Cominsky is the second coming of Patrick Kearney like we think he is, oh, yeah. This is going to be a top 10 defense.
That dude's going to be scary, man.
Yeah. And he's one of those real big guys. And we got a lot of guys that can penetrate on the defensive line. And when you got guys that can get into the backfield and get tackles for loss in the running game, you're going to have plenty of third and longs where you can rush the pass and pin your ears back. So I definitely think that this defense is going to be top 10.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It definitely feels good to have an attacking defense with the actual weapons to attack. Because, I mean, under the years of Mike Smith, basically I call it titty bumping. Basically those defensive linemen they were standing there, and Mike Smith was like, well, our linebackers, they're like defensive running backs, and our defensive linemen are going to make holes for our linebackers. Like, nah, man, we ain't trying to do that. We're going to get to the backfield and we'll figure things out once we get back there. So let's not overthink the situation.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, I think with people like Cominsky who can actually move, I think this whole defensive line. I think is going to be very scary. That's why I'm not really worried about him. I think Tack he's at the point now where look, nothing motivates a man more than realizing that he has a chance to lose millions of dollars. So if he didn't get it done before, I definitely think he might have 8 or 9 sacks this year.
Oh yeah. And I'm just gonna say one more thing before Mike go. I'm gonna try to sneak back in there real quick, Mike. Sneak back in the back door. The player that's really sitting back licking his chops right now is Grady Jarrett.
Oh yeah,
because he's finally got a crew with him. So he's sitting back there licking his chops because he like, y'all can't double team me no more. And if you do double team me, my whole gang of guys I got right with me gonna eat. So I know he the main one back there that's licking his chops. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a top 10 defense and we're gonna do some things up front. I got some rough riders with me now. So, what you think, Mike?
I don't think none of it matters if we don't have a running game. Can't have a top 10 defense if you don't have a running game. Period. Point. We can sit up here and talk about turnovers, but if you can't command the clock, you can't keep the other team off the field. It doesn't matter if you have a pretty good opportunistic defense. It's all about ball control and keeping that other offense, keeping that offense off the field. That's how you get a top 10 defense. That's how you get in the top 5. That's how you become the number 1 ranked defense.
Yeah, he's right about that. That ball control is very important.
Yeah, man. It's even one of those situations where it's like I actually hope Matt Ryan throws for less yards this year because, I mean, if he throws for less yards, that means that we got a better chance to win more games because we're running the ball and we're controlling the clock and we're playing better defense.
Right. I agree. I completely agree with y'all. And I think that this year we are going to run the ball a lot more because I think what we're not thinking about is Dan Quinn came from that Seattle, up there in Seattle. He came from a team that was known for ground and pound with Marshawn Lynch. So I think that he wants to get back to that ground and pound. We had Freeman and Coleman, and those guys got it going. That's what won us a lot of games in 2016. So I think we're getting back to that. And I think that's the reason in camp they're really talking about Todd Gurley and Brian Hill because I really think that they see that we're bringing back that Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman dynamic with the two guys being able to carry the football.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Hey, Mr. Maggie.
Moderators back.
I'm in here just trying to let y'all know what this means right here. We don't changed it up. It's no longer the parting shot or the after shot. Now it's the 2-point conversion. So this is the final moments of the show. We got Matt Mike on again. So we got the 2-point conversion. Dustin, you're new to the show. So on the 2-point conversion, it's just whatever you want to get off of your chest. Just say whatever you feel. Don't have to be related to anything that you just talked about, but it's just something that you want to bring awareness to or whatever you just feel in your heart to talk about. It's on you. So I just came in because I saw you go, Mike. So I might as well come in and explain everything. Hey, everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen the article about Vic Beasley. Come to find out that he's found the Lord. He wanted to be a preacher. I was never a real big Vic Beasley fan myself. I thought he was very undersized. I felt like he was a linebacker trying to play defensive end. And whenever he did rush the quarterback, he took more licks than a lollipop. I definitely it just makes me very upset the fact that our coaching staff and our organization put so much trust in him and believed in him so much, and he just wasn't giving us the same thing back. He wasn't giving us that effort. Then he goes to Tennessee and not even showing up to camp, and at the end of the day, that's hurting us. But I definitely wish him well in his future endeavors. But thank God we got Dante Fowler.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Who next? Who's next? Who's next with the 2-point conversion? Who's next?
Go ahead, Kevin. You got the flow.
Well, once again, like I said, I appreciate y'all giving me an opportunity to finally get out of my comfort zone. Let me try something here new. So I'll say I always appreciate y'all. And I always say this every week. Like I said, just be out here, just be careful. Like I said, just keep your distance and all that, because now we have situations out here now where it seems like it's two different justice systems out here.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a punishment for us being who we are, being black.
Yeah.
But on the sour note, yeah, I got a new beer tonight, so we good.
Hey, let me go. I want to slide in there because he kind of touched on some things that I want to talk about. So I'll go with that. This might touch some black people the wrong way, but we just got to stop trying to, like it's all good to support people in times of need, but it's like we can't if you know your baby daddy, your brother, your sister ain't shit, and he done have some issues, concerning the law. Stop trying to stay free, bubble. Stop it. He done ran over a damn baby. He done ran through 4, 5, 6 different mamas. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what he done did it. Y'all know they ain't crap. Stop saying free this person and free that person. Oh, Lord, they done shot my baby. Well, your damn baby done hung this person, done beat up that person, done sexually assaulted this person. Like, y'all know he ain't shit. It's only a time. It's just a matter of time before somebody got. All right, so what I'm trying to say is that what goes around comes around. If you're out here doing dirt, man, if you're doing dirt, expect it to happen. All right? And like I said, I'm not condoning anything anybody does at all. But I'm telling you right now, stop condoning a lot of bullshit that people out here doing, man. Stop condoning that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say about that, man. We got too many people out here talking about free Bubba, and y'all know Bubba done hung 5 folks and beat up this person and shot their mama, done stole everybody's purse, done stole your wallet, done stole your damn credit card and everybody's shit. Like, y'all know he ain't crap. Let's stop it. Stop it. Stop playing stupid. All right, so let's go do your thing, man. Go do your thing, man.
Man, I just want to talk a little bit about what we've seen the guys do in the NBA. Y'all ain't check Mad Mike's channel out. He was talking about it a little bit. I put it on my Facebook. I seen Maggie T had it on her Facebook page with them boycotting a couple of the NBA playoff games. The WNBA boycotting some of their games. The one girl that's in tennis, the African-American girl that's in tennis, she sat out on her match. I think it's very important that we use our voice, and we use our voice in different ways. Stephen Means, if y'all haven't watched it, definitely go to YouTube and go check out the Atlanta Falcons page. Stephen Means was talking about how Dan Quinn really allows every player in the locker room to be themselves. And I really think that it's important that we all use our voice in different ways. And as Black people, we don't criticize each other. Because I feel like sometimes as Black people, let's just be real. And that's kind of what Mike was talking about. We're divided as Black people a lot of the times. So we need to come together. I say it all the time on this show. What makes this show special is that we have a bunch of African Americans that come together. We all have different opinions, but at the end of the day, we love each other past our flaws, because everybody has their flaws. And that's what I think with us with this social justice. Whether you kneel or not during the national anthem, whether you stand there with your hand on your heart, I just say be respectful of other people. Because I feel like as Black people, sometimes when you have different people that have their own different views, we kind of are divided. and y'all don't want me to start preaching on here, but we all know a house divided. House divided can't stand. I'm talking about Big Beasley that found Jesus. You finna preach on y'all. Look, I found Jesus a long time ago. But I'm gonna tell y'all this: a house divided can't stand, man. So as Black people, we need to come together. One thing I can respect about the Falcons locker room, a lot of the different teams, they were talking about it, and they were asking DeMonte Casey in their media sessions, did y'all know this team canceled their practice and that team canceled practice? And they were like, look, man, this is the brotherhood. We do things our own way. And that's one thing I can respect about the Falcons. We have that tight-knit locker room and a tight-knit group, but stop being followers all the time. Just because everybody else didn't go to practice and didn't have practice, don't mean we don't care about what's going on. Just don't mean that we don't care about what's going on. Because Stephen Means was up there spilling his heart out for about 30 minutes and talking about his childhood and talking about his friends that went to jail and died and were murdered by the cops and things of that nature. So I just feel like as Black people, we need to come together. We need to respect everybody's wishes and beliefs. Be your own person. You might not be a speaker. You might not be somebody that's going to kneel during the national anthem, but do it in your own way. However you want to bring change to this world, because God knows we need change. And however you want to bring change or go about that change, I say just be respectful of each and every person that's on this earth and respect their wishes. Even if they're Black and they don't want to buy that Black Lives Matter shirt, don't be hating on them. If they don't want to buy the Black Lives Matter masks and the hats and everything you selling, just be respectful. Be respectful and treat others like you want to be treated. And that's all I got to say, man.
Mic drop.
Bam.
Yes. So y'all, I'm ending it like this. Make sure you see this new face right there, Mr. Big Low Country. He is new to the Atlanta Falcons Nation team.
Big Low.
Congratulations, Big Low. Yes, we got Mr. K-Stylz, Mr. Jew Talk Sports. Make sure y'all follow Jew Talk Sports. But make sure if you're watching this right now, we on a new home right about now, Atlanta Falcons Nation on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to us. And of course, Big Mac Mike. So,
y'all, look,
you already know this, man. But
y'all haven't banged me up. I ain't all that.
$1.99, $5.99.
$9.99. Yes. But look, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Tune in every Friday. We'll be here, and we got some new content for Atlanta Falcons Nation coming up. So y'all make sure y'all give us a subscribe. We appreciate y'all. And to the next time, everybody, peace.
And Whopper's not a currency.
What?
I said Whopper's not a currency neither.
WAP is not a courtesy. Remember that, y'all.
Wow.